Hello, people. I'm Lee Cole 3, and this is my partner, James Proctor. James, how are you doing?
Hey Lee, doing really well. How are you today?
I cannot complain at all. Okay, so we're going to talk about a couple things today, but first of all, I want to talk about one thing. This was going to be like a wrap up for the month. We're going to talk about what we think are the two main stories going on right now, but there are a couple little things that I like to mention. First of all, some people have lost their shows on here because they're stepping over those boundaries. And all I can say to people is don't step over those boundaries. I mean,
Hmm.
it's YouTube has made about 2 months ago they've decided they're going to be stricter with everything, so people should take that into mind. Also, uh, Fat Ball Sicilian, him and I do not get along. We haven't gotten along for a long time, probably never will. But the fact of the matter is, his mom's sick right now, real sick, and I've been hearing a lot of negative things out there. People, sometimes you got to just pull it back and let people go through their own thing, and then when he's back and you're battling him, then do it. But all these attacks that are going on behind the scenes, it makes people look really, really bad. It says a lot about those people as human beings. And
Yes,
with
it
that, James,
does.
would you like to talk about anything I just said?
No, I mean, I wish the best for Chris's mother, and hope that that she gets past this, and thoughts are with her and Chris's family, and so that's really all that I had. And regarding the channels, I mean, yeah, I mean, YouTube is not put, they're not turning a blind eye to bullying and things that violate the terms of service. So people have to be careful out there.
And well, what we're going to get back to right now, we have a few things going on. The two stories we want to talk about. We're going to talk about Sammy Gravano yesterday, calling a couple other people. He said they were the sleazy part of the mafia. And we're going to get into that after we talk about something else first. But were you surprised that CME's calling people sleazy?
Coming from him, that's a little surprising. But knowing how Sammy is, uh, I'm not surprised anything that he would do that's bad or sleazy. He's the epitome of sleaziness, in my opinion.
And he's always saying, "I'm not going to mention anybody." See, he listens to everything that goes on here. People, he sees all these shows. A matter of fact, Dominic Cicale, he went after Dominic Cicale for coming on this very show. So
Yeah.
Sammy does watch everything. Okay, now we're going to talk about a guy that I think's a nice guy. Okay, personally, and I'm talking about Ruggiano, and he comes off as a nice guy. Would you say that's right?
Yeah, I mean he's got a good following, good a decent sized channel, and people like him. And um, I don't have much. I don't know much about him, but he definitely is liked by a lot of people.
And what I do know is that he has used John Gotti's name for a long period of time now to um, push his channel, to make his channel bigger.
Hmm.
And here you'll see him with Mikey Scars. Now,
Yes.
Mikey Scars is basically pretty well known right now in this genre for going after Sammy Gravano on a continuous basis, and it really bothers Sammy, and we'll discuss that a little bit later. But it really does. But so Ruggiano, he's here and he's being friends with this guy. This is what I don't understand about this guy. And then he goes and he meets with the arch nemesis of Mikey Scars, and that's Sammy Gravano.
Yes.
We did a show where we called him out on it, and he basically said that he's doing this to help his show grow. And as we know, there's no evidence that Sammy ever helps anybody's show grow.
No. No, I mean, and that's the biggest misnomer. And what I see with Anthony is someone that's being naive about this, and he and you should look at the comments. So there's a lot of comments beneath this photo that shows
Why don't
Sammy
you read
and
some of them? Pull some up and read them to us.
Yeah, I'll do that in a second. I'll have to go to
Okay.
but um but yeah, I mean, he is the problem that I see with it is that he the only reason we knew of him in that life was based on his stories of, well, his father obviously, and then also being around John Gotti. I mean, and he really wasn't around Gotti much, and we know that. And he didn't have, so he relies on stories about John Gotti, others in the Gambinos, but he wasn't really that involved in it. But the problem is that now you know, he, he was showing this loyalty to John Gotti. Then he goes and breaks bread with Mikey Scars, and Mikey Scars considers him a friend, and so all the things that we see Sammy doing, how can he go out to Arizona and meet with this guy? I mean and then it comes across very selfish, in my opinion, to do what he did.
Okay. And so, do you think that it's going to help his channel? Honestly.
No, I don't even know if he will even get the interview that he did. I'm not even sure it will actually go on YouTube. To be honest,
And
I think that
and
it'll
what?
probably go by his paywall. And so, and I have, and so, here are some of the comments if you want to hear
Yes.
just a couple. Okay, so Melissa states, I love your show, but keep your eyes on Sammy. Hopefully everything works out with you guys. And then another one is, let's see, careful with that one. So a guy named Gary says, careful with that one, Anthony. Look what he's just done to Dominic Cicale. And then a third one is, careful who your friends are for sure. Keep your circle small and your cards against your chest. And then one more, Andrew, a guy named Andrew says, hopefully he doesn't turn on Anthony. Hopefully he doesn't screw you over. You're a good guy and would hate for the real snake to bite you in the ass. Take care. And that's
And
just
we all
some of them.
know.
And can't believe you're happy to be near that piece of crap. Wow. That's another message. So most of them are, oh, and watch out, bro. The bull already F shit up with Dom Shikali, Mikey Scars, A-Light, and others.
So,
So,
and now he just did, and we're going to talk about the show that he just did yesterday, Sammy, where he kind of opened up on people, and we're going to play the audio for that. Uh,
yep.
I got the audio down. We're going to play the audio, and I'm going to stop it, and we're going to talk about some of these things that he called basically, without saying their names. We know that he was talking about Dominic Shikali and Mikey Scars because,
Yes.
and I'll show you why, and we think that way. So,
Right.
so my message to Anthony would be, you were doing really good. Uh, you were doing really good with John Gotti, and you kind of stirred up the hornet's nest. Sammy, that's what Sammy is. He's a crap stirrer. That's what he is, and that's what's going to happen. And I think you had a good show, and I think by going to Sammy, you kind of phase people out of it that don't want nothing to do with Sammy. And there's a lot of people. Just look at his numbers have been plummeting. He'll say he has 500,000, but his numbers, if you go to Social Blade, you'll see his numbers are dramatically going down every day.
Yep,
James.
it is. Yeah, I mean, it's like, and I think I mentioned it before. That'd be like our show only getting 30 or 40 new subscribers a month. That's where he's at. But we get 10 times that much. He should be getting not 2,000 a month. He should be getting 20,000 subs a month based on where he's at in there. But he
Based on
made
the
most
size
of
of
it.
his show.
Yeah, on the size, yeah, and most of it was from when he was when COVID. He benefited greatly with people being not able to leave their house, and so he's trying to rely on that. And the lives are not going well for him, and he comes across very bad when he's not scripted.
Okay, let's put up his live from yesterday. This is not the actual live. I'm not going to take a chance for that, but this is from his live, and this is the audio.
Okay.
But I don't want to get into who's lying about what. But yes, when we have these documents, papers, and stuff like that, I want to document because I got some hyenas. What are the hyenas following me around? That's not true. This ain't true. Da, 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 da. Badmouth me a little bit. I'm sure some of you people saw it. And we're going to get that truth. I'm going to get to all of that shit a little later.
So he's saying the hyenas following him around. Who do you think he's talking about with hyenas following him around?
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming he's referring to Mikey and Mikey Scars and Dominic, maybe also throwing content creators like us into the mix. But I think it's mostly about those guys.
Yes.
They just want to be famous, and they want my viewers, they want my subscribers. Well, someday, my friends, I'm going to give you a story that you want. I'm going to make you fucking famous.
With all the receipts. I think
receipts and facts and stuff. And I'm going to put it.
So right there, he's threatening one of them, either Dominic or Mikey, saying, we got the paperwork, we're going to make you famous. Okay, first of all, and you're going to see him exaggerate these numbers too.
Your story. People who don't have a story, they don't have a life, they're nobody's. So they want to invent stories or they want to attack guys. They attack Michael Francis. Now he has stories, he does his own thing. I got stories, I tell my own thing. And some guys just don't have a fucking story. So their only theory is to attack somebody who has a following and see if they can get some play off of it. And I've noticed one guy had 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 views. And then he puts my name in, attacks me. Now he's got 15,000 views. So it's still not a lot, but he tripled or quadrupled what he was doing. So that's it.
Yeah, we can honestly say, though, that we know that Dominic Cicale gets over 10,000 views on the average. So once again, Sammy's exaggerating. He says he has 2,000 or 3,000. If he wants to say that about our show, he can. But he can't really say that about Dominic Cicale, can he?
No, and that's not true, and so also what has happened, and this is my opinion. I don't, no one has told me this has happened, but someone has went to Michael Francis and talked to Michael about the situation, because it's interesting how he hasn't brought up Michael very much at all, but he's made it a point to bring up some things about Michael. And then also even mentions, oh, well, he's a racketeer, I'm a gangster, that type of stuff, which is one of the criticisms that that he's had. He tells people behind the scenes all the time, Michael is nothing, and he's relying on his father, and now he doesn't want to lose that gravy train because he realizes that Michael is bigger than him. And he has had some opportunity, but I don't see Michael working with him anymore.
And we've talked to people that have told behind the scenes where we know that Gravano has told people that that Michael Francis ain't nothing, insulting him behind his back. We know that. We know people that have been in that conversation with him, and that's come back to us. So
yeah, not even just one person, multiple. So it's just it's horrible.
Okay, let's play some more.
Fucking mentality. So now you're seeing the best of the mafia when it comes to Michael Francis or me, even though he's a racketeer, I'm a gangster, different stories. But you're hearing legit stories. These people don't have a fucking story. So you're seeing the real scummy part of the mafia, and they got
the scummy part of the mafia. So we know he's not talking about content makers that aren't mafia people. He said the scummy part of the mafia. So he has to be referring to two people. And that's Mikey, and that's first of all, he made Mikey Scars. Mikey Scars was around in the early 90s. He was very high up, very well respected. He could say what he wants.
Yeah,
and no matter what people think of Dominic Cicale, sure he wasn't around Vinny for a long time, but he did get to a capo and was trusted when 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 Vinny Gorgeous was in prison.
Yeah, of
Uh,
course.
yeah, so he's downgrading what they are.
Yeah,
He
that's what
wants
he
people.
does. Diminishes and reduces what they are, make them irrelevant. So what it is, it's a typical formula that we see from Sammy. Sammy is upset at someone criticizing him. If you don't kiss his pinky ring, then he's going to go off on you, and he does it this way because, and he doesn't mention names. I get that, but people know what he's talking about, but he thinks he's much bigger than he really is. I mean, he's not going to get, the whole thing with Hollywood. He thinks he's in with the Hollywood crowd. He's not. He's on the fringe. He's not. I mean, the guy's 80 years old. He's not. I mean, there might be a documentary, there may be certain things, but no big budget's going to work with Sammy Gravano. And anyone that's tried previously, they've stopped working with him because he has to control every aspect of the production.
And if they want to get people to talk about something, all they got to do is sit them down and play that movie that he was in. What is that called? The Gravano or
Salvatore.
whatever?
Yeah, the Salvatore.
The Salvatore. Put somebody in a room and make them watch that. That'll make you. That's like spending the weekend in Detroit. I mean, there's just
Yeah.
certain things in this life that you don't do, and
Yeah.
that's one of them. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Here we go.
Together to be a team because they can't do anything else. So, and I'll get to all that shit down the road.
I think, we don't like to say anything, because we produce for you and remain as professional as possible and just stay positive. But it blows my mind that the same people that want to talk, I can't even watch it because it's so dizzying. Every other sentence is a contradiction in itself. None of it's true. And then we're still getting emails and messages from the same people begging to come to Arizona to meet you and interview you and sit down with you and can I talk to you and hey, I love you, and it blows. They're worse than girls.
Yeah, well, look at the one video.
Okay, this is where a producer oversteps their boundaries.
Yeah,
Your
that's
job
just
is to
uncalled
produce.
for.
Your job is to produce. Your job is not to come in and lie. You're saying that someone wants to go meet Sammy, and they're still calling. We know Dominic Cicale's not still calling. We know that that Mikey Scars ain't. I sure the hell know we aren't. So who Jeff Nadeau already interviewed him, so I find it hard to believe. Who? It ain't nobody that he's involved with this beef.
No, he makes up stuff. Again,
But it's her making it up.
Well, it's her making it up, and she's overstepping her bounds, and then her as a woman saying they're acting like girls. That's kind of weird too.
Like girls, yeah. Well, okay.
Guy says, I'm not going to let him use me to get his.
Your coat.
I'm not going to be on. I'm not going to be on his coattails. He's got fucking 5,000 fucking subscribers. I got over 500,000 subscribers. I'm using him.
Yeah. Delusional.
Fucking joke. But one thing I told this particular guy, so when you start your show, these people are smart. They know the truth. They know how to read people. They know when you're lying. The biggest thing is tell the truth. And he went like, whatever I told him, he went completely in a different direction. But we'll get to all of that.
Okay, now here's where being a real show means a lot. So Mikey Scars has 1,000 people behind his paywall, which that says a lot. And we have a paywall. We know how tough it is to build. Our paywall is building slowly, but it is building.
Yeah.
Do you think Sammy Gravano has 1,000 people behind his paywall?
No, I mean, based on what I can tell, it's around 100 people, and so the thing is that where he's making a mistake, I know for a fact that he's talking about Dominic because when you look at the interview that was still up on ourthing.tv, he's saying that he says that to Dom that, well, just tell the truth. You got audience members that know a lot and everything. And so, but he needs to be talking about himself. So the problem is that he is using people because he needs content for the paywall, ourthing.tv. The only content he's putting out is he's got YouTube, which is the lives, and then he's doing it took forever for him to come up with any content with this table in the back, and then he's trying to do a political thing, the bullpen. I think he really thinks that Fox News is really wants to do something with him, collaborate with him. I think it was just a one-off thing, to be honest.
Well, and that's another thing. He has supposedly 500,000 people that have come to his show and subscribed. But here's the issue, though. He only has 800 people in his live. I know that's a lot for us, but we don't claim to have that. And
No.
so he has 800 in his live. So what's the percentage there? If you got 800 in your live, but you got 500,000, I mean, that doesn't match up either, does it?
No, I mean, I've seen shows where you have 500,000 subscribers, and you'll have about 4,000 or 5,000 in your live. That's who will be in the chat room, and so he's only got 800 at the most. And then the other thing is that he. Whoever's running his production, it's horrible. They had the quality issues. He's not a professional. That's not a professional outfit. When you have those type of issues with the audio, it took him 15 minutes to even get the audio fixed with his mic, and that didn't even count that it was 15 minutes of music before he even came on. It's just ridiculous.
And this is where you can tell young people are running that show. Because YouTube tells you the minute you turn on your show, you got to capture them. You don't capture them with music.
No.
You're not he's not the president where people are waiting for him to come out and make a speech.
Yeah, and that's what he's trying to appear as.
You do an excited opening, you go right to the person. But he's like, I'm going to be on for an hour, but I'm going to do 15 minutes worth of music.
Yeah, and then
this is not a very high quality production. It's not like when Carol was there,
right.
Not even close.
No, not at all. Like when James Carroll was there.
Okay, and this is what happens when you got 20-year-olds that worship you, Sammy, doing your show.
Yeah.
Tony Crook.
Okay, that's it. Okay, so people, in the beginning, there was a little lowness in that, and that is his equipment. So don't get, and then it got louder as he talked more. But that's what James was talking about,
right.
Is the quality of sound. We do this from our shows. We don't have big productions. So it's obvious that Sammy is paying money for production because he has people there. But you have a young culture coming in trying to produce a mob show of people 20 years, 30 years before they were even born. So it's obvious they don't know much about the mob. So anything Sammy, and Sammy likes it like that, because anything that Sammy tells them about the mob, they're going to believe.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly it. And then we didn't play this part of it, but it was interesting that we've been talking about the problems between him and James Carroll for a couple of months now, and he made a point to say, "Oh well, we're going to do a revamp the Our Thing videos." Basically what he did in 2021, 2020, 2021, 2022, and so he wants to redo those. I don't know if it's because people have said that, hey, you're not telling the truth or what it is, but he's saying, well, he's going to work with James Carroll again to do whatever revamping of Our Thing. I'm not sure that's really going to happen.
Okay, people, I just like to say, you can please join Angel Gotti's My Father's Daughter. We are also part of that Patreon page. We are growing. We're steadily growing. And we're putting up some really good product right now. And you really should sign up. All you got to do is go to Patreon. It's going to ask you what you're looking for. Just put in, underneath here will be a link. But you could go to Patreon and just put in Angel Gotti. and it'll pop up. The first week's free, so why not go check it out?
Yeah,
Okay.
can I
And
point
all-
out something on that before
Yes.
we move on? I want to tell you that I just watched an interview that you did, Lee, where you asked Angel Gotti 4 questions, and that no one has heard before, and so that is an excellent segment. I just want to tell you that I learned a lot from the segment. So what's happening, folks, is that we Angel is willing to talk about mob stuff. She's willing to talk about her father, her brother, her family. She's willing to talk about all those people that were around the Gottis in that life, but not on the YouTube platform. She's willing to do it behind in the Patreon. And so the every week you're going to have at least going to ask 4 questions, and people that are subscribers of Patreon of my father's daughter, they can actually send questions to us that Lee will ask. So I thought that was an excellent interview you did with Angel.
And so, as soon as we get to a certain number, we're going to start lives, and we're getting close to that number, and then we'll start doing some live shows in there also. And also, people, please subscribe, hit the like and the reminder bell, and we appreciate it. If you want to donate something to this show, it's appreciated. If not, you're still appreciated.
Yep.
Okay, what else do you want to talk about? Has anything happened this month that really, besides those 2 things, which seem kind of big, and then people's shows being shut down? That's another big thing. Do you see anything else that you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I wanted to mention was that I'm very excited about the road trip coming up, and so you really we've done a lot of planning on that this month, and it's really cool that getting a little help from sponsors. It obviously won't pay for everything, but we've got a few products, like cameras and different stuff. We're really wanting to make this a professional, great road show, and a lot of interviews getting lined up, and so next month's going to be exciting in my opinion. It's really cool what's going to take place next month when you're on the road, Lee. I guess you're ready to do this trip, right?
Yeah, I'm going to pull something up to give you an idea of what's behind this road trip right here.
Yeah.
Okay. Just give me 1 minute and I'll pull it up.
Yeah, and so I know that you're planning on starting out with an interview pretty much as you get outside your front door, right?
Okay, let me see if I can pull this up now.
Yeah.
Boy, that's another thing. You lose people when you make them wait like that.
Yeah. Now, I just think it's exciting. You'll be in several states. I'm sure you'll go through 15, 20 states on this trip.
Okay, so let's share this.
All right.
Okay, here's what we got. Some of the stuff we got for the trip. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
On the road for quite a while, and so this is some of the stuff that you need. Right here, we got a very nice HD Sony camcorder, and that is needed for filming, of course. Then we have the GoPro right here, and that GoPro is very important. So you can put it on your car, shoot trips, and here you got the Spy. This is new by Holy Stone, the Spy Die. And this is going to be a drone. We have 3 different types of phones, computers,
And then all the gear that you need to go with it, all the side setups, all the way down. This is all this stuff right here. It's not cheap, people, but if you want to do it right, you got to have all the equipment. And I'm looking forward to doing this. Take care.
Okay, and also we just got this, which is going to be the iPad.
Yeah, the iPad. Yeah, that's what I was going to mention.
Everything. Yeah, it's amazing. It does everything. I've never had an iPad before, and I was going over. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" The camera level, and I just ordered the case for it. So, but it's amazing the amount of stuff that you got to bring on the road to do these interviews.
Oh my God! Yeah, it is amazing. Plus, I have a feeling you had to maybe buy some new clothing, didn't you, for the road
Yes,
trip?
I did. Yes, I did. I sure did. I got some shirts, some jeans. I got a few things. But losing weight too is tough because I'm down 100 pounds, so my clothes keep getting looser and looser.
Yeah. No,
Okay,
I mean,
people,
I think it's great. Great stuff.
Okay, so stay tuned. We'll get a show out this weekend before I leave for the road. Everybody, thank you so much for everything. Thank you for supporting this show. James, anything you want to say before we leave?
No, just looking forward to the next few weeks. I think it's going to be really exciting. So everyone just stay tuned.
Okay, take care, people. Thank you very much.